So, folks, good morning, good afternoon. Welcome in from across the continent and beyond. And before I dive in with my professional intro, I just want to say I always encourage the classes to sort of groove along to the dance. And there was one student in Mr. Bresden's class who was just doing this the entire time, and I appreciate you very much. So thank you for that. My name is Jesse. I'm here with Exploring by the Seat of Your Pants. And if you're joining us for the first time, we're all about bringing conservation, adventure, and science into classrooms around the world. This has been a wild start to the school year. We've already done 30 programs. We've been live at the North Pole, live from a baseball diamond, live with baby sloths. It's been such a wild ride. Everything's on our YouTube channel, including this one. So if you want to share this one later with your family or friends, you can head there and do just that. Now, this marks program number 3 of 5 in our epic Ocean-wise series. We are partnering with the greatest organization for highlighting the wonders and magic of the ocean in the world. Yet again, check out ocean.org. There's so much there. And if you want to see the whole rest of our series, it's on YouTube and it's also right here. So you can sign up for tomorrow and next week's redo of our art program. Now, before I dive in with today's topic, I do want to note we have a Kahoot today. So if you're at home, if you're on YouTube and you want to play along with a little 4-question quiz, pull up that game pin and we'll do that in about 25 minutes or so. Test your understanding, have a little bit of fun. Now, without further ado, I'm so excited that of all topics you're joining us today, because today is about crazy, curious creatures. And the ocean is full of crazy, curious creatures. It's a really big habitat. We've been exploring this all week long. And so the biggest area on this planet for life to live in is the deep sea. And we're going to explore some of the weirdest, freakiest, coolest, ugliest creatures that you can find down there, or prettiest, depending on your perspective. And so without further ado, I'm going to leave lots of room to talk about them all. Julie, welcome to the broadcast. Thank you so much for being here today.
Welcome, everyone. This is so exciting. We're going to talk about some crazy, curious creatures today. But like Jesse said, this is an incredible ecosystem. This is the largest on planet Earth. So we might know of some, but we certainly might not know of all of them. So let's get started with just a little bit about myself. I'm Julie Langlois. This is my little session today, and I'm super, super excited. I wanted to share 2 of my favorite and most interesting creatures that I personally like. Now, my first one is the humpback whale, just because of its huge size, and I actually got to swim with some. I know, pretty cool. And the other one is jellyfish. Now, these jellies are kind of an enigma still in my brain. Although we study the ocean all the time, jellyfish are just this weird one that I can't wrap my mind around. But I'm presenting from Squamish, Canada. So really, really awesome, and reunited on the lands of the Squamish territories right now. And by acknowledging where I'm from, I acknowledge where I can protect and preserve the land and waters around me. So if you don't know where that is, it's right next to Vancouver. And if you don't know where Vancouver is, well, we got to look at a map here. But I'm presenting with Ocean-wise, and we do so many different things. We work on climate change, ocean pollution, and overfishing. And today, we're working on youth, the education component of all of those things. Now, Jesse, like you said, this is an awesome and really cool ecosystem, but the ocean actually faces a lot of threats, but it also gives us a lot of life. So it gives us oxygen, water, food, livelihood, and beauty, and we want to make sure to preserve all of those things. Yeah. Now, I have one really awesome question for you. What is the strangest animal you've ever heard of?
Ooh, all right. We're going to head to Mr. Alston and Mr. Bresden's class live for this. If you want to yell out some answers, Mr. Bresden's class, we're coming to you first. Strangest animal you've ever heard of. What do you think? Yeah. Hey, come on up. Yeah. Octopus.
Octopus.
Weird. They're odd. That's a great one. Mr. Alston's class, what do you guys think? Feel free to flick your mic on. Mine is actually a land creature. It's called a giraffe-necked weevil. They're really freaky and they're a cool bug. What else we've got? We've got blobfish. Yep, coming in chat. Very nice. That maybe that'll come up later. Those are some good options. Blobfish, weevils, octopus galore. Julie, what's your weirdest animal?
Ooh, I will tell you about a bunch of weird animals. Are you ready? My first one is actually, I can't say it. I don't want to ruin it, Jesse, but we're going to take a magnifying glass. We're going to zoom in on one part of an animal and see if you can guess which animal, which weird, strange animal we're zooming in on. Oh, what is that? What is that?
It's very odd. I don't know what that is. It's freaky. It kind of looks like an eye on some jelly. That's what I would say. Jelly eye.
Jelly eye?
Yeah.
Blobfish. The blobfish is really, really blobby. And it's actually because we take it from an extreme pressure at about 1,000 meters in the deep. And when it comes up with no bones and no muscles, it becomes a gelatinous survival. So these fish tends to be the ugliest fish, as some people deem them. But it's only because we take them out of their homes. Blobfish actually look like this. They're really, really cool, and they have little spikes on them to defend themselves. Now, question for you, would you rather be squishy or spiky?
I'd rather be squishy because then I could like go through little holes like an octopus could, and I could just like blob myself into a new room. That sounds like a lot of fun. If you have thoughts and you want to share in the chat, YouTubers, feel free to chime in as well. But that's my pick, squishy.
I like it. Yeah. Squishy or spiky doesn't really matter, but there are creatures that can do both. Now, this sea urchin is certainly spikier than the blobfish, but it's again a defense mechanism for them to survive in the ocean. Now, I'm going to go in and zoom in with my magnifying glass one more time. Can you guess what we're looking at here?
Ooh, I actually know this because it's part of one of my favorite creatures in the whole world. What do we think, Fulton Vale?
Seahorse family.
Seahorse fins? Whoa!
Whoa! This is exactly, you got it. Like answer in locked leafy sea dragon, which is also exactly that. It's a seahorse. So we're looking, and this actually shows, it looks like kelp. It looks like foliage underwater. So these creatures are camouflaged in a way that we can't even see them underwater. All right, here we go. Next animal. What do we think?
All right, Mr. Alston's class, what do we think?
What do you think?
Lobster.
Crab?
We have more blobfish. We got the
Lobster?
lobster, some clawed creature of the deep.
The clawed creature of the deep is exactly that. This one is a weird, interesting one. It's actually a teeny tiny shrimp with a big claw. Now, this shrimp is called the pistol shrimp, and you can actually see it makes a really sonic sound with that click. So much that it could actually paralyze certain creatures for it to eat it. So that sound is really, really pungent underwater. So pistol shrimp, very cool exploration, very close to my lobster answer. All right, my last one here. Can you guess what we're looking at?
This is my favorite in the whole thing. Fulton Vale, what do we think? A very tentative fish. I was like, fish, maybe. I don't know. What do you guys think?
It's a glowfish.
Blowfish, jellyfish.
Glowfish, jellyfish. Okay, interesting. Okay, a lot of excitement. Cool. Julie,
So much excitement, which is exactly what we need for this creature, because Jesse actually mentioned that this was his favorite creature. This is the barrel-eye fish. And the barrel-eye fish is like no other. This barrel-eye fish can actually see through its skin. So like you see, it kind of looks like it has a window on its head. And that's because it's a creature of the deep. So looking up at all the preys and predators and even food on top of its head is a really cool adaptation that it has. Weird, awesome, crazy. Now, our last one today, this is a microscopic view, so let's zoom on in. What do we think this texture could be?
All right, you guys have been like the most on-the-ball audience of all time. Fulton Vale, we're going to head to you first.
Dolphin. Go to the microphone. Dolphin.
Dolphin. Bit of dolphin, bit of shark. Mr. Alston's class, what do we think?
Great white shark?
Great white shark, okay.
We've absolutely got the answer. So you may have seen this kind of skin before, but this is shark skin. And it actually feels much like Velcro. If you go down one side, it's super, super smooth. But if you go down the other side, it's really, really rigid and kind of spiky. So this shark, we're going to take a little movement break. That way your class can move here. If you want to stand up, if you want to go ahead and move like a shark does not go up and down like a dolphin does, but it goes side to side. So we're going to go ahead, give yourself a little move of the body. this shark moves from side to side. So go ahead, move in your chairs, move in your classrooms.
Very nice. You guys are so wiggly. We've got a big bunch of shark kids. I love it.
I love seeing everybody on the screen. This makes me really happy. But these circular patterns and spiral patterns are really good for them to hunt or travel. So they are really good swimmers, and I'll show you a little bit of that right now. So from side to side, you can see it's really effortless for them. But we can see that sharks are actually different sizes. So we have our great white shark, which I have a little surprise for you all. This is the size of a great white shark tooth. So if you can see on my palm how big their jaws can be and how big their huge cutting teeth, razor sharp, can actually be. So great white shark is actually one of the smaller species on our scale right now. If you know, the whale shark is actually almost double in size. And then the megalodon, something that we know has existed and maybe you might know of, is larger than the whale shark. So look at the red, which is actually the smallest we think it could be, and the gray, which is the largest we think it could be, about 20 meters in length, which is super, super cool. But like I said, the great white shark teeth, super sharp, and you can see conveyor belt like teeth, super, super, super cool. As soon as they lose one, they grow another one.
I've got a megalodon tooth too, just for comparison compared to my hand. It's one of my favorite things I've ever owned in my life. So this is a monster tooth from one of those megalodon, which you see in this picture too, but like so cool. There we are.
Whoa! Yeah, that's definitely larger than your palm. That is so cool. So shark, although they have a bad rep, they are really the superheroes of the ocean. And you can see they're not all that bad. Some definitely do attack, but most are like puppies of the ocean. They just are super curious. They want to take a sniff and then they move away. So let's not be all too scared of sharks. They are really curious creatures, just like us. Now going back, I've got a couple more questions for you. We're going ocean trivia here. What do you know about these creatures of the deep? Now, first question, some jellyfish never die. I guess it's more of a statement. Do you think this is true or false?
Mr. Alton's class, we're going to come to you guys. Bayside, welcome to the broadcast as well. We'll be coming to you for some questions in a minute, but no.
True?
A bit of true. Now we're good. Oh, now true. True's taking over. Okay.
We've got true. We've got true all around, and that is exactly the answer. You have one jellyfish actually called the immortal jellyfish. It can revert back to its baby form at any stage of life. So that's pretty cool. It looks a little like this. So very, very, very dark in its depths. But you can see it has those kind of luminescent traits and a really translucent body. So it can turn into a baby at any point. Very cool. All right, next statement. There's a fish that can see through its skin.
We maybe already met this guy. Let's see.
Maybe.
Of course, Julie.
We were listening. This is true. The barrel-eye fish has transparent head, so it can definitely look through its skin. Now, this is certainly a cool adaptation, but what about other creatures? What about this statement? Dolphins sleep just like us. True or false?
Bayside Public School, welcome to the show. If you want to unmute your mic, we can come to you guys for this one too. What do we think? You can put your overwhelming true.
Well, this is actually the first one where we don't have the answer. This is false. So dolphins do sleep, but they actually sleep with only half of their brain at a time. So the other half actually stays awake for them to breathe, for them to stay safe, for them to know what's around them, but only half of their brain, so half of their hemispheres, sleep. So this is a unihemispherical slow wave sleep, and dolphins are really, really good at this. So imagine being only half asleep. I don't think I would ever sleep again if that was the case. So cool. I have another statement for you. The mimic octopus can copy over 15 different animals. True or false?
All right. From chats, we've got a lot of true. Yes. Okay. We think so. I mean, it's called the mimic octopus. Stands to reason.
It's definitely an interesting one. This is certainly true, guys. So the mimic octopus can go up to 15 different animals, which is wildly amazing. And this mimic octopus can also fit in all these different crevices. So it can keep itself really, really safe, which is certainly oh, that's the wrong answer. It's true. You're right. All right, we've got one more statement. There's a shrimp that punches with the speed of a bullet.
It's pretty fast. It's so funny how many of our broadcasts, space and animal alike, end up with like a comparison to a bullet. Fulton Vale, what do we think? True or false? Really, the ocean's so full of all these crazy creatures. Of course, there's something that punches like a bullet.
Of course, absolutely. Now, here's the best part: is that you guys have been pretty spot on, and I want to say that I meant to make this as trick questions, but you guys are getting it all right. It is true. Now, this is the fastest underwater shock wave that we've been able to study. This shrimp can actually punch through glass. It's so strong. It also can it sees more color than most animals can see, and for a moment its surrounding waters, when it punches, can reach the temperature of the sun. I know, that's pretty cool. So what does it do to hunt these creatures? It goes ahead, it gives a big sonic punch, which can be as strong in breaking glass. It reaches a huge water temperature, which inevitably toasts the crabs around the water. So this creature is one of the coolest creatures that can actually heat the water up so strong that it just toasts everything around it. What? Jesse, tell me, is that cool?
That's pretty cool. That's pretty wild. Again, so fast, it produces like this epic sound wave, epic amounts of heat, and can kill something just with that, which is really odd and freaky.
So odd and freaky, and that is certainly something I wouldn't want to be swimming next to. All right, now I have another one. Sea cucumbers can sing underwater opera. True or false?
What do we think, Mr. Alston's class?
Maybe
true.
True. This is actually false. I know. This is my trick question. I love putting that in there. They cannot sing underwater. However, they do puke out and vomit all of their internal organs. That's a weird one. Sea cucumbers, looking like this, have a defense mechanism. So if anything comes to eat them, they puke out everything that's inside them. And then the creature that was going to eat them says, ooh, I'm going to turn around. That was gross. Pretty cool. All right, we're going to play a guess who for my next creature. So let's see if you can decipher who this creature is with 3 hints. I'm a reptile, but I don't live on land. I glide through the sea using my flippers instead of feet. I've been swimming in the Earth's ocean since the time of the dinosaurs, and I can hold my breath for hours underwater. I carry my home on my back, and I come to sandy beaches to lay eggs. Who is this?
Well, Bayside is like losing it with hand waving, so we're going to go to you guys. What do you think? Sea turtle, yes, I think
sea turtle. We got it. It's exactly a sea turtle. And this sea turtle is certainly really, really happy in this habitat. We have 7 different species of sea turtles, and all of them are currently going extinct. So they're endangered. So we need to really make our efforts to clean their ecosystem, because look at what's happening. This beautiful, vibrant coral reef with all of the fish friends is changing. Now, like I said, the babies are laid on the beach, but that's not the case for every single creature. Now, we know of this system. The mother usually leaves the eggs, the babies hatch and go to the ocean and start their swimming, and not a lot of them make it. but most of them certainly try. Now, we have different creatures, like some fish keep their babies, their eggs in their mouth to protect them from predators, which is a very interesting one. But you have other parents that cuddle them basically until they hatch. So these wolf eels mate for life, and they share a den their whole lives, and they certainly like to cuddle little babies. But these wolf eels are kind of named this way because of their mouth. So everyone, show me your teeth. Give me a big smile. Nice. Look at this guy's smile. Wolf eels are certainly big teeth. And I actually have something really cool to show you. I have a wolf eel skull right in front of me. And you can see, if I open its mouth, look at the teeth inside. These teeth are certainly sharp and predatorial. And they're really, really cool because they're also called sea wolves. And these are super sharp teeth that are very ferocious predators. But not all eels are. Look at these. They sway and look really funny, I think. But these little garden eels are very different. They're less predatorial, but they certainly have a colony that pokes out of their burrows, and they look like waving plants swaying in the ocean currents, but it's really great for camouflage. So look, they just keep moving. They really look like grass, don't they, Jesse?
They are pretty cool. They're one of my favorite things to see in aquariums. I've seen them in a few places in the world, and they're such special little creatures.
They're such special little creatures. We love these little guys. But ending on our presentations, we have a lot of creatures that don't even swim in the ocean, which is an interesting part. Imagine living in the ocean full time, but not actually knowing how to swim. So this one being one of the creatures. Sea stars don't swim. They slowly move with their little tubes. So you can see going in here how slowly it moves, but it doesn't actually bounce or swim or even go with the currents. It just frolics around the ground like a little sea star here. There we go. I've got one more creature to guess who. So looking at my three answers, I don't have a shell like most snail cousin, but it crawls across the ocean floor. I come with wild colors like pink, purple, orange, blue, you name it. And it's usually about a sea slug. And I may look cute, but I can absorb stinging cells like jellyfish and use them at my own defense. Does anyone know what this creature could be?
So sea slug is sort of the normal term that people say for this, but there is a special name. This is a tricky one. I didn't know this when I was your age, but we'll go to Fulton Vale first. What do we think?
Sea urchin.
Sea urchin. Okay, similar. Another deep sea creature. Very cool. Mr. Alton's class will come to you guys. What do you guys think? This is a tough one. Very tough. All right. Let's see.
I don't know.
Sea cucumber.
Sea cucumber, sea urchin. I think we're going to introduce some people to a new creature, Julie.
Oh, this is going to be good. This is going to be good. It starts with an N, and it's called a nudibranch, everyone. Now, nudibranch come in every single color you could possibly imagine. And let me show you shape, size, color. Jesse, these are probably one of my favorite creatures. You can see all of the repertoire. And I'm going to bring in some closer looks here. Look at them all. They have the ability to take in venom, to take in stinging cells. So whatever they eat, they could probably house and use to their defense. So looking at this one, it kind of looks like a funky spotted mushroom. Looking at that one, I think it looks like a booger. What do you think? I think that looks like a snot rocket.
Total snot rocket. Yeah.
Total snot rocket. This one kind of reminds me of a lightning bolt. It looks fast and speedy. And this one reminds me of a clown. Now, this creature is really, really cool because it actually has a little cousin here, which is a sea pig. Not this kind of sea pig. No. This kind of sea pig. Whoa. And this is something that I've actually just discovered my own. I actually saw one of these for the first time and realized, what am I looking at? I have no idea. I study the ocean, but I have no idea what I'm looking at. Now, these are over 100 meters below the surface, or 1,000 meters below the surface, and they walk on legs. They kind of, I don't know why they called it a sea pig, but they breathe through their butts, everyone. They breathe through their butts. I know, weird one, weird sea creatures, but this is one of my pretty interesting one. And they love ocean poop. So they actually kind of scoop up whatever nutrition they can find from marine snow. So this creature, translucent, this is also another big one. This one can reproduce really, really quick, almost instantly. And these look like floating gummy bears. But close, we're nearing the end of our program here. So I'm gonna wrap this up. Can you imagine how big and how heavy this fish could be? Now, I put a model of a human here, so that way you could see, but I also put down below little babies, which can fit basically on your pinky finger. So these creatures grow to an exponential rate, and they can grow up to 2,000 kilograms, which is the size of 2 horses. So this is a pretty wild, and they can sunbathe near the surface to keep warm, but these fish are certainly big. So Jesse, like you said, you don't need a piece of paper today, but while we're wrapping up, while we have a bunch of questions, I want you to maybe create some art. So we're going to do a sea creature mashup game. So out of all of the craziest creatures, out of some that you may know, I want you to put heads, tails, legs, eyes, mash up certain creatures that you love from the ocean, and create an art piece while we wrap up with the Kahoot and the questions. This can be your end of task for this little session today. All right. Now, while we think of wrapping up, my last thing that I wanted to say is although these creatures are super curious and crazy and wild and strange, they all have a part to protect our ocean. Now, even though you think that they might be really small, the weird equals the wonderful and equals the necessary. So just because a creature looks strange doesn't mean that they're unimportant. From blobfish to sea pigs, creatures help balance the ocean, and every creature has a role. Now, biodiversity is certainly what makes the ocean strong, and more species means more resiliency in the ocean. So that's how I'm going to end it off, folks. Jesse, I think now it's probably time for a beautiful Kahoot. Let's see what we can do.
Let's do it. Well, thank you so much for such a deep dive, literally and figuratively, in some of the coolest animals of the ocean. We covered so much ground today, and you guys are an amazing audience. We're going to keep it going with a little 4-question quiz to test some understanding and have some fun. And then we're coming to you for some live questions. YouTubers, feel free to chime in the chat too, but we are going to dive in with this. For those who are new to Kahoot, the faster you answer, the more points you get. And what you win, if you do know, is Julie and I's everlasting respect. So we're going to dive in with this and get underway. Feel free to chime in anytime. You can join even though we've gotten started. I just want to leave lots of room for big Q&A with you after. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. True or false? The blobfish always look squishy. Yeah? What do we think? This is certainly something that a lot of people think, but are they correct? 32 answers in already. Wow, you guys are so fast at Kahoot. I love it. Faster you answer, more points you get. Julie, give us a little hint for those who haven't gotten their thing in yet. I don't know.
It depends on what habitat. Do we keep them under pressure in their natural habitat? Do we take them to the surface? What's the answer, Jesse?
Whoa, look at this big. It is false. So, are you squishy right now? No, you got bones, you're cool. If they put you in the bottom of the ocean, you'd be pretty squishy because we are not evolved to be in that habitat. Blobfish, when they're on the sea floor, look like a normal fish. But when you bring them up, they get squishy because they're not meant to be at our low pressure up here. Great question, guys. All right. The biggest shark ever was the great white, megalodon, the plesiosaur, or the mosasaur. 2 of these might not be sharks. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. We've got our megalodon tooth here again, which you can just take a look at because it's so cool. And then Julie's got a great white shark tooth. So that might give you a little hint. There's 103 of you. What's going on? Megalodon is our correct answer. The biggest shark to ever live. Their mouth so big, you and your family could all fit inside their mouth in one bite.
Oh, yeah.
Vibrant Duck takes our lead. We discovered, so this question, have we discovered all the crazy, curious creatures of the deep? Yes or no? Or are there more down there? If you think there are more down there, your answer is false. If you think we've found everything, then your answer is true. Let's see. 10 more seconds. So many. This is our biggest Kahoot of the year. This is so fun. You guys rock. Oh my goodness, 200 answers. What's even happening? I don't even know. False is our correct answer. Yes, that is awesome. Let's see what that does. Vibrant duck keeps our lead barely over glowing clam. Going into our final question. How can we help ocean life? This we did not explicitly talk about today. Can we help it by cleaning up a beach or waterway, eating sustainable seafood, telling your friends what you learned today, or all of the above? What do we think? Every time there's all of the above, you can pretty much be sure that that is the answer that I've chosen because I have the power of creating the cahoots. Let's see. So many of you went straight to clean up, and that is correct, but they're all correct. So those of you who chose all of the above are the real winners today. Thank you all so much for playing along. Even if you didn't get them all right, it's all about learning. That's what these programs are for. So Vibrant Duck is second, and a mystery person took our lead at the end. Let's see. Fabulous Koala for the win. Way to go, guys. If you are any of those folks, let us know who you are in the chat. We are going to head to Mr. Alston's class for our first question. Come on in, guys, and take us away. Hey, Cougar Cubs. So many questions.
Come on up. They can see you.
What is your least favorite animal?
Oh, no.
Oh no. This question is so hard to answer. I love all of the animals for sure, but you actually, I just had a really bad experience with a bunch of bloodsuckers. So I would have to say that right now in this current situation, because I swam in the ocean and I actually went straight to a lake afterwards and was covered in bloodsuckers. So at the moment in time, I'm not the biggest fan of them, but doesn't mean that they don't have a point or purpose. I do still love them.
Yep. That's a good answer. Mosquitoes aren't anyone's favorite, I don't think. I'm not a big fan of centipedes, but all creatures have their place. It's very important to love all creatures, even if you don't like them particularly. But I love that. We've actually never had that question in the history of exploring by the seat of your pants. Well, Fultondale, we're heading to you guys. Mr. President's class, come on in. Hey. All right. Any questions for Julie? What do we think?
How many creatures do you guys know about?
Ooh, how many do we know about in the whole world, Julie?
Whoa, well, this is a huge number. Now, how many creatures in terms of just animals and insects and everything alive, living organisms, I could tell you that that number just in terms of insects is about 18 to 25 zeros. That's just an insect population. So I want to say that this number is so large that I don't even know how to say it. There are so many living organisms and things on this planet. Jesse, do you have a better answer?
No, this is a great answer. I mean, if you literally were to count individual creatures, there are trillions and trillions of things in the sea. I mean, we know this from plankton, all the little things that all the big things eat, trillions and trillions of them. It's hard to even fathom how many creatures there are like that in the ocean. In terms of species, kinds of animal, like we're a kind of animal, horse is kind of animal, dog's kind of animal. We know there's at least 2 million different kinds of animal in the world, which is an unbelievable amount. And I will say, when we have deep sea biologists, they go down in submersibles and they look for species. Every time they go down, they find new things that we've never found before. So,
oh yeah.
Like the question of the Kahoot, the more we explore, the more new things we find. So you could literally find something that no one has ever found in the history of the world, which is very cool and very weird. So great question, guys. Julie, we're killing it with these questions. Bayside, if you guys want to come in for one more, you are good to go. Unmute your mic. Take us away. Hey.
Is it true that a goblin shark mouse?
Hi, guys. What was your question again? Could you repeat that for us?
Is it true that a goblin shark mouth can just open like an elastic can?
Ooh, goblin shark.
Ooh, can you actually repeat that, Jesse? I missed that.
Yeah. So how much can a goblin shark mouth open up? Is it true that they can open up just like completely widely, as wide as humanly possible? Let me pull up a picture of a goblin shark for everybody too. They're a really freaky fish. So give me 2 seconds. Yeah.
Goblin sharks certainly they can open their mouth to a really crazy amount. Now, Jesse's going to show you a photo. Now, they can certainly go to a point where it kind of looks like they're dislocated. So that's the coolest part about goblin sharks is that they can open their mouth so large. Now, the whole theory about opening it as big as a garbage can, I'm not sure about that one. I'm not sure if it could fit a garbage can in its mouth. But it does look really, really creepy.
Really creepy.
Really cool. shark to look at. Now it has that really big jaw like a shark usually does.
Yep.
So you can kind of see, I can't see if it actually fits a garbage can.
It's pretty big. And so they're all sharks can open their mouth really wide, and sharks also have a basically imagine if when you opened your mouth, your teeth came out a little bit further. That's how jaws in sharks work. So they'll always have like a little extra bit that their mouth comes out of their face, which is really freaky and weird. I like the framing of the question, and I like that you know goblin sharks. They're such weird, cool creatures. Way to go, man.
They're part of this crazy, curious creature plan, that's for sure.
We are going to do one more round of questions with everyone. Mr. Alston's class, come on up if you have a second one and take us away, guys. Hey.
How do sea pigs poop?
Ooh.
Okay, well, this is the question that we usually get. Sea pigs, very interesting creatures. They breathe through their butt. However, they still poop through their butts as well. So you could only imagine the air quality, the things that they're coming in while they're breathing. It's not great for them, I'm sure, but they are thriving and they're making it work.
They're good, but universal. If you're pooping, it's through a butt. That is like the one thing for all animals in the world. I love that question, guys. Football, we're heading to you guys. Come on in. Hey. All right. Any second questions for us?
What is your favorite type of fish?
Favorite fish in the world, Julie?
Oh, well, I'm a fisherwoman through and through. So right now, I usually go through a big trend. My favorite fish in the world is actually the halibut. And if you don't know what that is, it is a bottom feeding fish. So it's it goes on the ocean floor and it swims on the ocean floor. And both of its eyeballs are looking up at the sky. So it doesn't have a regular kind of body. It's really flat on one side. There you go. There's the halibut. And you can see it kind of looks a little funky, but these creatures can live super old and they've been around for a really long time as well. So I respect them a lot.
So cool. And they are born with their eyes on the same side. And then as they get older, their face sort of morphs and their eyes end up over here, which is really freaky and weird. A lot of weird eye stuff going on with fish in the sea. So I love those questions.
Good question.
Time flies and you're having fun. We are nearing the end. I want to stress you should all check out ocean.org. So much to explore there and an amazing series. The rest of the series you can check out here or on our YouTube channel. We're going to head to Bayside for one final question, but just thank you so much for your enthusiasm and passion, everyone. You guys are an amazing audience. Hey, Bayside, come on in. Yeah.
My name is Isaac, and my question is, what makes a megalodon so deadly?
Ooh, cool question, Isaac.
Ooh, now megalodons are so cool. And the best part about megalodons is that we actually didn't exist, but their monstrous size, so they can weigh up to 70 tons or about 20 meters in length. And really, we estimate that their jaw power was the deadliest part of them. So their bite force was actually, if we measure it in newtons, was like about 10 times stronger than a great white shark. So that's really, it can easily crush bones and it could really, really hurt you in a single chomp. And its teeth, like Jesse had, are really, really big. So that amount of power in one jaw is pretty amazing. But the coolest part too is that it was super speedy and stealthy. So although it had all of this really cool power, it was also really, really fast. So this is something that we keep studying and we keep just learning about. The megalodon is really, really deadly. And it's a really cool creature to learn about.
Yep. The biggest shark ever to exist, hunted whales, which is very, very neat. And I want to stress just the way you phrased that at the very beginning, they did exist. They just didn't exist with us. So megalodon, we have from about 2 million years ago. There aren't any megalodon anymore, which too bad, but very, very fantastic creature. Julie, I see you brought up waves of change. So we'll wrap up by highlighting that. And then we'll bring in all our kids to say a big thank you and farewell in a minute. Julie, what's waves of change all about?
Thank you for bringing that back, Jesse. Waves of Change is the people who help us deliver all of these programs all around schools, all around for free. So thank you so much, Waves of Change. And I also have just a couple more things here that I wanted to highlight. Now, Waves of Change, thank you. We have our questions. And that's about it for me today. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen, Jesse.
Fantastic, Julie. Thank you so much for joining us today. We're going to bring in all our classes to say a big thank you and farewell, as we always do. Mr. Alston's class, Mr. Bresden's class, Ms. Iola's class. Thank you so much, everyone.